The old house had always been a mystery to the neighbors. Its windows, dusty and cracked, reflected little light, and the once vibrant garden had become a wild tangle of thorny bushes and dead leaves. People said it was haunted, but no one dared to go inside, except Mira. Mira was a university student studying psychology, fascinated by the paranormal and the stories that clung to places like cobwebs. When she heard about the abandoned house on Willow Street, she couldn't resist. Armed with her camera and recorder, she decided to spend a night there, determined to uncover the truth behind the rumors. The first thing she noticed upon entering was the smell, a damp, musty scent mixed with something metallic, like old blood. Her footsteps echoed on the wooden floorboards as she moved deeper into the house, her flashlight beam dancing across peeling wallpaper and broken furniture. She found the living room with an old, ornate mirror standing against one wall. The glass was cracked but intact, and despite years of neglect, it seemed to gleam unnaturally in the dim light. Mira felt drawn to it. She wiped away the dust carefully and peered into it. At first, she saw only her reflection, pale, wide-eyed, her hair falling messily over her shoulders. Then, slowly, the image changed. Behind her reflected self, a shadowy figure appeared. It was a woman, her face blurred but her eyes glowing faintly red. Mira spun around. No one was there. Her heart began to race. She looked back at the mirror. The figure was still there, staring at her with a silent scream frozen on its lips. The woman's hair floated as if underwater, and her fingers reached out from the glass. Suddenly Mira's phone rang, breaking the silence. She jumped and answered, trying to steady her breath. It was her friend Adil. "How's the investigation going?" he asked, voice light. "Something's wrong here," Mira whispered. "I saw something in the mirror." Adil laughed nervously. "Maybe it's just a trick of the light, or your imagination." Mira wasn't so sure. She set up her camera facing the mirror and started recording. Minutes passed. The room grew colder, the shadows deeper. Then her reflection blinked. But Mira hadn't. Her reflection smiled, a cold, cruel smile. Frozen, Mira watched as the reflected woman lifted a hand and pointed directly at her. The temperature dropped further, her breath visible in the air. Suddenly, the mirror cracked, spiderweb lines racing across the glass. The reflection twisted, mouth opening wide in a silent scream. Mira stumbled back, knocking over an old chair. The air buzzed with static electricity. She grabbed her recorder and camera and ran from the room. Outside, the night was calm, but Mira felt eyes on her back. She dared not look. That night, as she lay in bed, she kept the recorder beside her. The playback revealed faint whispers, voices calling her name, and a final chilling phrase: "Join me." The following days were a nightmare for Mira. The whispers continued, faint but persistent. Every mirror she passed reflected not just her image, but something else, something wrong. Faces appeared behind her in reflections, fleeting but terrifying. She avoided mirrors, covered them with cloth, and even left home rarely. Her friends grew concerned, but she pushed them away, afraid to explain the terror she was facing. Desperate, Mira returned to the old house with Adil. This time she wasn't just looking for proof. She wanted answers. They entered the living room cautiously. The mirror stood ominously against the wall, now sealed with tape and covered with a thick cloth. Mira's hands trembled as she pulled the cloth away. The mirror was intact, but a dark stain ran along its surface like spilled ink. Suddenly, the glass rippled like water. Adil shouted, "Mira, step back!" But it was too late. The mirror surface bubbled and broke like a stormy lake. A woman's figure emerged, wet and pale, eyes blazing with fury. It was the ghost Mira had seen before. The spirit lunged at Mira, who fell backward, clutching the recorder. The ghost's cold hands grabbed her wrist, freezing her in place. "You opened the door," the ghost hissed. "Now you belong to the mirror." Adil grabbed a nearby piece of wood and struck the ghost. It vanished with a scream, but Mira felt a strange pull, like her soul was being dragged toward the glass. In the days that followed, Mira's reflection acted independently, sometimes smiling, sometimes screaming, sometimes mouthing silent words she couldn't understand. The final night came when Mira woke to find herself unable to move. Her body was trapped, but her reflection stepped out of the mirror, grinning malevolently. "I am free," it whispered. Mira was trapped behind the glass, her screams silent, while the ghostly double lived in the real world. The house remains, abandoned, but those who peer into the mirror sometimes see two faces, one trapped, one free, and hear a desperate whisper, "Help me."